When I hit record that night, my hands were trembling. Not from fear, not anymore, but from the heavy truth pressing against my chest. "I'm ready," I whispered to the camera, my reflection flickering in the lens. "I'm ready to expose the family secrets that have haunted me for far too long." My name is Lena, and for most of my life, I believed my family was perfect. The kind of family that looked like a Christmas card from the outside. My father, a respected doctor. My mother, the graceful host who could turn every dinner into an event. And my older brother, Ethan, their golden child, the one who could do no wrong. I was the quiet one, the one who stayed in the background, documenting life through photos instead of living it. But when you spend your whole life looking through a lens, you see what others miss. You see the cracks before the glass breaks. It all started on a cold winter night years ago when I was 16. My parents had thrown a charity gala at our home. Laughter filled the air, champagne glasses clinked, and my mother's pearls shimmered under the chandelier. I was upstairs editing photos from earlier when I heard shouting from my father's study. My curiosity got the better of me. I crept down the hallway and pressed my ear to the door. "Do you understand what will happen if this gets out?" My father's voice snapped. "It won't," my mother whispered sharply. "We'll handle it. We always do." I remember the chill that ran through me. The words "handle it" sounded like a threat. That was the first time I realized my family's perfection was built on lies. Years passed, and I convinced myself it was nothing. I went to college, studied journalism, and tried to stay away. But one phone call pulled me back. My mother's trembling voice. "Lena, your father's sick. Please come home." When I walked into that house again, the air felt heavy, thick with something unspoken. My father, frail but still proud, greeted me with that same cold smile. My brother Ethan hugged me, but it felt rehearsed, mechanical. That night, as I unpacked, I found a letter slipped under my door. No name, no handwriting I recognized. Just 5 words. "You don't know the truth." That's when I began digging. Late nights in the study, through old photo albums, letters, tax records, and eventually, a hidden folder on my father's old computer. What I found there made my heart stop. Bank transactions to a woman I'd never heard of. A secret property deed. And worst of all, photos. My father with another family. A woman and a little boy who looked hauntingly like Ethan. I felt sick. My whole childhood, my father had treated Ethan differently, favored him in every way. Now I understood why. Ethan wasn't just the golden child. He was the son of my father's affair. And my mother knew. She'd known all along. I wanted to confront them, but I wasn't ready. Not yet. I needed proof, and I needed to know how deep it went. So I started recording everything. Every whisper, every argument, every lie. One night, I overheard my mother and Ethan talking in the kitchen. "She's getting suspicious," Ethan said. My mother sighed. "Then make her stop. You know how to handle her." That night, someone cut the brakes on my car. I survived because I took the train instead. When I got home, my mother cried and called it a coincidence. I knew better. That was the night I decided I wouldn't just expose them, I'd destroy them the way they tried to destroy me. I created a plan. First, I built a digital timeline. Every transaction, every document, every lie stitched together into one story. I even tracked down the woman from the photos, Amelia, who told me everything. My father had promised to leave my mother for her, but never did. When she got pregnant again, he cut her off completely. That baby, her youngest son, died from a heart condition because my father refused to pay for surgery. When Amelia said, "He let my baby die," something in me broke. So I did what my family would never expect. I invited them all for dinner, my father, mother, and Ethan, to celebrate Dad's recovery. The house was spotless, candles lit, wine ready. They came dressed in their best, smiling for photos. Perfect, just like always. Halfway through dinner, I connected my laptop to the TV. "I have something special to show," I said softly. What played wasn't a slideshow. It was my documentary. Photos, videos, recordings. Every secret they'd buried came to life on the screen. My father's affair, the hidden son, the falsified donations, the bribery at his hospital. And finally, Amelia's interview, her tear-streaked face saying his name. My mother's fork clattered to the table. Ethan stood, his face pale. "Lena," my father stammered. "Turn that off right now." I looked at him calmly. "You taught me to face the truth, remember?" He tried to stand, but I'd already sent the files to every major news outlet, the hospital board, and the charity organization. His phone started buzzing nonstop. Reporters, lawyers, chaos. My mother screamed at me, calling me ungrateful. I stared at her, finally seeing the woman who'd hidden behind her pearls. "You protected him for years," I said. "You let innocent people suffer so your little world wouldn't collapse. Now it's your turn to face the collapse." Ethan tried to grab my arm. "You'll regret this." I looked him dead in the eyes. "No, Ethan, you will." Because I'd uncovered something else. Ethan had been embezzling funds from my father's hospital under my father's name. And I had the documents. The next morning, police came for both of them. I watched from my car as they were taken away. My mother screaming, my father in handcuffs, Ethan silent, for once. The house looked smaller that day. We'd always called it home, but it was never mine. I thought I'd feel empty. But instead, I felt free. For the first time, the silence wasn't suffocating. It was peace. A month later, I released the full documentary online. It went viral overnight. People called me brave. Others called me heartless. I didn't care, because I knew the truth. I wasn't seeking revenge. I was seeking justice for every lie, every bruise that wasn't physical, every time they made me question my sanity. When reporters asked if I'd ever forgive them, I just said, "You can't forgive what was never love." Now, every time I look at that old house in the distance, I don't see a prison anymore. I see a graveyard where the ghosts of my family's lies are finally buried. And me? I'm still telling stories, but this time the truth is mine to keep.